There is no end to the mystery in our world surrounded by mystery. Mountains, seas, or deserts are full of mysterious places. Machu Picchu is one of the thousands of mysterious places in the world. Rows upon rows of mountain tops, or an entire city. How this civilization came to be, and what was the secret history of that civilization is a big question right now. Everything is a big mystery. In today's episode, we will discuss the mysterious city of Machu Picchu. The mysterious city of Machu Picchu is located in the eastern cordillera of southern Peru. It was originally an Inca civilization, before Columbus discovered America in the 15th century. The elevation of this place is 2,430 meters, or 7,970 feet above sea level. It is located in the Machu Picchu district within Urubamba province above the Sacred Valley, which is 80 kilometers northwest of Cuzco. It was built around 1450, but it was abandoned 100 years later when the Inca civilization was invaded by Spain. Most recent archaeologists believe Machu Picchu was constructed as an estate for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti from 1438 to 1472. Often mistakenly referred to as the lost city of the Incas, it is the most familiar icon of Inca civilization. According to the new AMS radiocarbon dating, it was occupied from 1420 to 1532. After hundreds of years of obscurity, in 1911 an American historian named Hiram Bingham brought it back to the attention of the whole world. Since then Machu Picchu has become an attractive and scenic place for tourists. Machu Picchu was declared a Peruvian historical sanctuary in 1981, and a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983. In 2007, Machu Picchu was voted one of the new 7 wonders of the world, in a worldwide internet poll. Machu Picchu was built in the classical Inca style, with polished dry stone walls. Its 3 primary structures are the Intihuatana, the Temple of the Sun, and the Room of the 3 Windows. Most of the outlying buildings have been reconstructed in order to give visitors a better idea of how they originally appeared. By 1976, 30% of Machu Picchu had been restored and restoration continues. It is thought most of the city's inhabitants died of smallpox before the arrival of Spanish explorers. According to historians, this fortified city was the traditional birthplace of the Incas, or the sacred center of the Sun Virgins. The 325.92 square kilometers area around Machu Picchu was declared a protected historic area by the Peruvian government in 1981. In addition to the ruins of the city, the area included in this area is rich in flora and fauna. In 1911, the Quechua community moved the historic Bingham to Machu Picchu. This community lived in installations built by the Incas in Machu Picchu. Some families lived there until the city was discovered in 1911. At that time, excavations were carried out in Machu Picchu and some women's mummies were recovered. Bingham traveled there several times and conducted excavations there until 1915. In most parts of Machu Picchu, agricultural work was done on terraced lands. The stairs were constructed keeping in view the issues of soil erosion and prevention, as well as protection of soil fertility with drainage facilities. It is estimated, around 1450 AD, the area received about 1,800 millimeters of rainfall per year, which was sufficient for grain production. A type of stone is found here which is called intitana. Many believe rubbing this stone on the forehead can lead to contact with the spiritual world. The site is roughly divided into an urban sector and an agricultural sector, and into an upper town and a lower town. The temples are in the upper town, the warehouses are in the lower. The architecture is adapted to the mountains. Approximately 200 buildings are arranged on wide parallel terraces around an east-west central square. The various compounds, called canchas, are long and narrow in order to exploit the terrain. Animals are also suspected to have migrated to Machu Picchu, as there were several bones found that were not native to the area. Most animal bones found were from llamas and alpacas. These animals naturally live at altitudes of 4,000 meters rather than the 2,400 meters elevation of Machu Picchu. Most likely, these animals were brought in from the Puna region for meat consumption and for their pelts. Little information describes human sacrifices at Machu Picchu, though many sacrifices were never given a proper burial, and their skeletal remains succumbed to the elements. However, there is evidence retainers were sacrificed to accompany a deceased noble in the afterlife. Animal, liquid, and dirt sacrifices to the gods were more common, made at the altar of the condor. Machu Picchu is now a place of interest. Millions of people from all over the world come to see it every year, and love to get lost in a sea of mysteries seeing the civilization thousands of years ago.